just a good win for our team. We've had a lot of close losses this year and had some bad breaks, and it was finally good for us to make a couple plays, and then we were very fortunate, obviously, with a missed free throw. I thought the Notre Dame kids really competed, played well. Mooney he was a major factor. We were obviously very worried about him coming into the game, and he was as good as we thought he was, or better. He just does so many things well: shooting, rebounding, passing. His hands are phenomenal, we were fortunate to hang in there. But I'm really proud of our guys. We had to make a lot of plays down the stretch. We executed a couple sets. Marquise was huge. Obviously, in the first half, we struggled without Eli at times. We were good at other times. But he was a major factor in the game as well for us.
Coming back to Indiana, what's it like to have Marty next to you all season?
Yeah, it's great. Marty and I watched Marty play at Evansville. He's a couple years older than I am. And then we worked together my first year in coaching. I was a grad assistant, and he was, I don't know, whatever the title was, restricted earnings, lowest level assistant. We shared an office together back in '91, '92, and worked for Coach Cruz, who's a terrific coach. And obviously we've stayed in touch since that time. I'm from Evansville, and so I've always followed the program and have a lot of fondness for that place, and really proud of the job that Marty did. I thought he did a really good job over the 12 years that he was a coach there. It's been really fun to have him on my bench this season, and just kind of just help me a little bit, see things a little bit differently, and just to rekindle the strength of our friendship by being together all the time, which you don't get to do very often in coaching.
Coach, you called timeout after Leschewski hit the first free throw. Is that something you kind of believe in that's
yeah.
the time to do it?
Yeah, just to throw them off rhythm if you can. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's a really hard thing for the shooter. It happened to us last year at NC State. We had 3 free throws to tie, made the first 2, and then they called timeout. We missed the 3rd one. So yeah, it's something that we've done in the past as well.
Where is your team in its evolution here this season?
It's a great question. I don't know. We've played pretty well most of the year. We've lost 4 one-possession games in the league in heartbreaking fashion. Almost any way you can think about it. And so we've shown tremendous resiliency to just kind of keep fighting. Those losses are tremendous gut punches, especially when you're battling to make the tournament. And every time you feel like you begin to get on solid ground, you get knocked back down. And it's hard to keep going into those locker rooms when most of the time our guys have done everything or most things right, and we haven't had a good break. We haven't had any breaks, it feels like. And this was the first break that we've really had in a close game where somebody missed a shot. We've had them banked in, hit a 23-footer at the buzzer, guarded. We had one blocked at the rim at Louisville, and then we had a tough no call against North Carolina. So we've been in 4 situations that have been gut-wrenching, and I'm proud of our guys for continuing to pick themselves off the mat and still fight. It's not easy, especially when the kids are being criticized and all those kinds of things.
So you can relate to the frustration that Notre Dame's feeling.
Absolutely. Mike obviously has another guy not play tonight. You look over there and you see Pfluger and Harvey and guys that are really good players. And, I knew this was going to be an incredibly difficult game. They play possession basketball. They don't turn the ball over. You don't get fast breaks against them. They don't make dumb plays. You got to make shots. You got to figure out ways to score. You got to try to stop them. And right now they're just a little, they're a man or two short and probably worn out a little bit. But you're watching them on film, and they go to Florida State and they got the lead late in the second half. We know how hard that is because we play those guys twice every year. It's a very proud program with a coach who's very well respected in our profession. And at the end of the day, as good as all of that is, you still need players, and your players got to be healthy. They got to be fresh. They got to have pop, and it's hard when you've been knocked down and when you don't have your full complement to keep battling. And a lot of respect for the way their kids are still fighting.
How hard is it as a coach and just with your players at times in this league where it just there's no nights off?
Yeah, it's incredibly unforgiving, and we've made the wise decision to go to 20 games. I don't know. That must be the coaches in our league that are Hall of Famers that had a lot of the pull that, you know, don't worry about any pressure. It's just, and the games happen pretty quickly. Like, you take a deep breath after you win a game. You just want a day to just a day to breathe and be like a real person, and you don't get it. It's right back to the next thing, and then they just keep coming as quickly as they do over the last 2 months of the season, last 9-10 weeks, and they travel, and it's hard, and the mental stress of it all, and that's where the losing and the injuries and the close losses and all that, it really challenges your teams. Because I've said this a long time, you can play well in our league unless you have really great players. You're going to lose games playing really well. And so it's really hard when you do that a couple times and your kids give you everything they have. They're playing well. They come up a bucket or two short. Then you turn around and got to go to practice again the next week. And let's get all excited again and do everything we can. And you don't get rewarded. And that's the hardest part, is you don't get rewarded all the time for good work, good preparation, good play. That can really be hard on players and coaches.
Any more questions for Coach?
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all.